Hey guys, welcome back to another art lesson with the Bakersfield Museum of Art. My name is Curtis, and today we're going to be covering a really cool art project, two-point perspective drawing, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Now, if you've already watched the one-point perspective videos produced by the Bakersfield Museum of Art, that's great. You're going to be a little bit ahead of the game. But if not, it's completely okay. You're going to learn everything that you need to produce a two-point perspective drawing right here in this video. But before we launch into our project, I want to talk a little bit about an artist named Pamela Panettone. Pamela Panettone was born in 1948 in Altadena, California. She attended California State University Fullerton and graduated with a master's degree in landscape architecture. Inspired by both the natural and man-made beauty that surrounded her, she worked for 20 years as a licensed landscape architect in California. After a move to Rhode Island in 1999, Pamela's focus changed from landscape architecture to landscape painting. This particular piece, entitled Audrey Hotel, was gifted to the Bakersfield Museum of Art's permanent collection in 2008 by the artist. This work is also a great example of the project we intend to do today. The artist has skillfully used two-point perspective to depict a street corner right here in Bakersfield. Awesome stuff, right? Now, before we jump into our project, we're going to need just a couple of things. For this project, you will need paper, a ruler, a pencil, an eraser, and a marker or pen. To begin with, I want you to draw your horizon line through the middle of the paper with a horizontal line. Go ahead and make two marks halfway down from the edge of your paper, like I have. These marks will be your vanishing points for this project. Then I'd like you to go ahead and make a short vertical line on the top half of your paper. Make sure it's nice and straight. This line can be anywhere in the top half, but closer to the middle is going to be better for what we're doing. Next, I'd like you to go ahead and draw a diagonal line to our vanishing point on our right-hand side. And these will be from the top and bottom of our vertical line. Then go ahead and do the same for the vanishing point on the left-hand side. These lines don't have to extend all the way to the vanishing point, but you're welcome to do that if you wish. Then we're going to go ahead and draw two more vertical lines connecting 2 points on our diagonal lines that we've drawn from our vanishing points on both sides. To finish up our floating cube, we're going to add two more diagonal lines. These are going to extend from the vanishing points on the opposing side. So left corner to right vanishing point and right corner to left vanishing point. Now the next thing I'd like you to do is where the bottom two diagonal lines that we just drew intersect, I want you to go ahead and make a vertical line through our cube. This can extend and stop when it hits the top portion of our box. Then we want to go ahead and draw another diagonal line towards the vanishing point on our left from the top edge of the right corner of our box, and that's going to extend to the vertical line that we just drew. Go ahead and do the same to the top left corner of our box. Now at this point I'm going to go ahead and erase some of our unnecessary lines because we're actually almost through with our floating cube. Now if your floating cube doesn't look exactly like this, that's okay. This is just practice after all. You can really do a lot with two-point perspective drawing, but it does take a little bit of practice to get the hang of. While we're erasing, we're going to go ahead and get rid of some of those internal lines of our see-through cube. A see-through cube is, of course, really cool looking, but we want to give our box a little bit more definition. Go ahead and erase a portion of that vertical line that's closest to you, as well as that middle diagonal line on our left-hand side. This is also a good opportunity to darken up the existing lines that we have not yet erased. There we go. Now we've gotten rid of those lines. Our cube's a little bit maybe less jarring to look at. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some shading towards that central portion of our cube to make it a little bit more three-dimensional looking. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some shading to the top portion of our box, because if I imagine myself standing and looking up at this floating cube, I imagine that the light source is going to be casting this sort of shadow. I'm actually going to continue that shading on the interior side of our box. I'm just going to give it an even more realistic feel. Please feel free to experiment with your floating cubes. You can really do a lot of cool stuff with them. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and add some shading to the sides and underneath my floating box. I think that that will add just a little bit more realism to it. So as you're shading and then darkening certain portions of your cube, I hope that you see how really dynamic that you're making your little piece. Now, if you have one handy, you can go ahead and take just a ballpoint pen or marker and go ahead and darken in those structural lines that we have. And here is our finished product. I've gone ahead and added a little man down there, confused by what he's looking at. Now, if you've made it to this point, congratulations. You've just taken your first step into two-point perspective drawing. So what'd you think? Pretty cool, right? I certainly hope you got a lot out of this lesson, and I certainly hope you join us again for part 2 of two-point perspective drawing. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Bakersfield Museum of Art for our online lessons, and have a great day.